dynamic then, but here is the man of the match, Witan Sulaiman Roshan, who scored the opening goal, but he did so much more, didn't he?
He's a wonderful player to watch, lovely player to watch. So graceful on the pitch, the way he just glides across, and intelligent in the way he takes up his positions, and the good knowledge of, good awareness of when he needs to hang on to it, when he needs to play it first time.
But Singapore beat them along the way and finished second in their group. As for Indonesia, well, they took Group B by storm and amazingly finished top of their group. And that's how these two sides have met. But they couldn't have come here in more different circumstances. As I mentioned, Indonesia playing some fantastic football and have shown great tactical flexibility. Have been a real joy to watch. Been scoring goals for fun. The highest scoring team in the tournament so far with 13 goals to their name. And they have got their country going at the moment. As for Singapore, they started well with a 3-0 win over Myanmar. I think some people might feel it's got progressively more difficult for them. 3 wins out of 3, an unconvincing victory over Timor-Leste, and then a loss against Thailand, which also culminated in some fans making their feelings known in the stadium. The reaction of the coach afterwards as well garnered some attention. And so they come into this as the underdogs, despite being the hosts, despite there being a sellout crowd here of 10,000 people. The last time these two sides played in the National Stadium in 2018, Singapore defeated Indonesia 1-0 in front of 30,000 plus fans. Of course, things have very much changed since then, as we see the two teams make their way out here onto the National Stadium pitch, a ground in which Indonesia thrilled us just 3 days ago against Malaysia in a 4-1 win, and that guaranteed them top spot and a place in the semi-finals against Singapore. There's Haris Harun, the skipper, who had plenty to say. We'll talk about that in a short while as the two teams line up for the national anthems. As we look at the lineups today, and there are changes for Singapore. They make 4 of them from the side that lost to Thailand's second string in that final group match. We see Nazrul Lazari come back into the starting lineup. Song Woo-young returns after not coming off the bench in that last game. And Nur Adam Abdullah also goes into that left back position because of Shakir Hamza's injury. He is out for the tournament. and it is going to be a back three with those fullbacks or wingbacks pushing further up, you would think. And Song Woo-young is playing to the left of Shadan Sulaiman. Iksan and Faris Ramli up top. The players that drop out, Zulkarnain Suzliman is on the bench. As I mentioned earlier, no Shakir Hamza for the rest of this tournament, which of course is a big miss for this side. Amir Shahin is the other one that doesn't start today. They're the two skippers. Asnawi on your right from Indonesia, Haris Harun, the Singapore skipper. Officials all from Korea, Kim Hee-gon is the man in charge. We have a Korean coach as well, if you recall, for the Indonesians, Shin Tae-yong, and there is his starting lineup. They make two changes from the side that so thrillingly beat Malaysia here on Sunday, with Rizky Ridho Ramadhani coming into defence, and up the other end, Dedik Setiawan is the striker. And this is the interesting thing. They are looking to play a 5-4-1 today, something that they employed against the Vietnamese to great effect, but certainly not something we expected in this match here against Singapore. The ones to miss out, Ezra Walian is on the bench, and Ramai Ramakek is suspended. Moment of remembrance for family, friends, colleagues, and every person, of course, who was passed on due to COVID-19, hence the tagline, emerging stronger together. As I mentioned, Rish Roshan Rai, he's so excited next to me.
Against Thailand, suffering that defeat, looking to show everyone that it was just a one-off and that they are ready to make an impact and make the mark here on this semi-final.
What did you make of the formation that the Indonesians in particular are employing? They're both going with three central defenders.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? With both these teams going with what looks like a system that plays five at the back. But for Singapore, with Zulfahmi in there, he can just step into midfield as well if they need him to, so he could even be a four at the back for Singapore. At times, Zulfahmi has got that ability. There he is on the ball, just plays a quick pass back to Safwan Barudin. He can drop in and become a part of that back three. It gives them an option of being an extra body in the midfield as well, in possession. So keep an eye out on that little tactical tweak for Singapore. What's interesting for me here is the soft. Yeah, it's just scary when you think about the future of Indonesian football. Alfiandra is 20, Pratama Arhan
just
19,
turned 20
just
yesterday.
Happy birthday to Pratama Arhan. Rizky Ridho, 20 years of age. Wow.
Asnawi's 22.
Yes, Asnawi 22, playing in Korea.
Here we go now. Here's Song. Oh, that was a good intervention. And on the rebound. Singapore denied anyway. It would have been offside.
Oh, this is encouraging play from Singapore. If you're a Singapore fan, you see that the variance in the runs there. Iksan just peeling off towards the near post. Oh, I tell you what, he doesn't catch that one well at all. Mistimes the hit on that. I think he'll be disappointed with himself, because when I spoke to him after he scored those two goals, Noor Adam has gone in with a high challenge.
Not a great
be in trouble
one. That
here.
looks bad. I don't think there's any malice in that. He's apologising.
It's a terrible challenge from Noor Adam. Be very fortunate if he gets away with it.
I think he's been told just to quickly walk away from this one.
Oh, I mean, look, he's got his eyes on the ball, sure, but can't go flying into the opposition like that. Rahmat is another player who's been so impressive for Indonesia. Another one, 22 years of age, can play in central defense, can play in central midfield. Doesn't look out of place at all.
Started his career up top. He slowly worked his way back down the pitch.
Just looking to try and put it through the legs of Zulfahmi there. Well defended by Zulfahmi. Came in for a bit of criticism after that Thailand game. A bit harsh. This player with really good qualities. There's a reason why he's in the national side, and a reason why Tsuma Yoshida puts him in the starting 11.
Fourth corner for Indonesia. Nicely defended on the corner. Indonesia looking for a way to break through. Asnawi has fallen to Witan Sulaiman, waiting to pull the trigger.
Well, that first touch from Witan was excellent. And what that did was it unbalanced Haris Harun just as he receives it. Good run. That first touch, it's an unexpected one for that Singapore defense. Because it takes him across the penalty area here. It just unbalances Haris just for the moment. Does enough eventually to put Witan off his shot at goal.
Yes, particularly in Vietnam, because of what happened in their group game, called them, well, weren't very diplomatic, shall we say, in the press about what they saw as the tactics and the way they played their football. It was rough. I think it's probably the most diplomatic way of saying it.
And again, Singapore looking to just move things on very quickly. Intelligent touch from Song. To turn away from Rizky. And left his knee in the thigh of Song Woo-yong.
Because of all those yellow cards have accumulated, that's why we have no place today for Ramai Rumakek, who is suspended for this one. They have 9 yellow cards. Singapore not far behind. 51 fouls coming into this game with 8 yellow cards. Here's Shadan Sulaiman. Good ball across to a looping header! And that was creeping in from Safwan. That's what he's so good at doing.
Yeah, nice idea. Really nice idea from Safwan. You can see exactly what he was trying to do as the ball came into him, just trying to use the pace of it. Notice that Nadeo was off his line, trying to guide it and loop it over him. Again, Shadan with a pinpoint delivery from the set piece.
He's one of the danger men for Singapore in the set pieces, but completely free header, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just managed to peel away from that defense, and some broken through the middle here.
There is Haris Harun. Play continues. There was a foul, I thought, on Faris. But they're going on. Asnawi. Through the legs. Shadan back to Asnawi. Can they finish? Yes, they can. What a goal that is for Indonesia. Witan Sulaiman opens the scoring.
Oh, that is brilliant from Indonesia, and that's all Asnawi. The desire to make something happen for his team down that right-hand side. Haris tried to foul him, almost took him down, got back up on his feet, and then this give and go here. The return pass, Asnawi nutmegging Shadan, and then the return ball from Witan, first time into that space for Asnawi, and then the cutback. Wonderful finish from Witan. You know, he just doesn't panic in that situation, allows the ball to come across his body, opens up his body inside of the foot, guides it away from Hassan Sani. And that's a wonderful, wonderful goal.
Didn't need to take the extra touch rush the first time. That helped, didn't it?
You look at his game intelligence and his wonderful technique with Tan. He gets himself into these positions and he knows exactly what he's going to do when the ball comes into him. Do I need to hang on to it? Do I need to play it first time? And he just makes these right decisions. And backs himself because he's got the technique in those situations. I know this situation, I need to pass it first time. And I've got the technique to do it. So he doesn't need to hold on to it as some players might.
There's our man, Witan Sulaiman, who scored the goal with Asnawi supplying it.
It starts from when they break forward down that right-hand side, and then, you know, he goes down that channel, that give and go with Witan, as I mentioned, the intelligence of when he needs to play that first time and that first touch into Asnawi, and then continues his run. He's not passing it and then admiring his pass or looking at it and going, oh, that's beautiful. Let's now we go and see what you can do. He's give it, go. What's the next position I can take up? And that's in the penalty area. And the weight on that.
Zulfahmi under pressure here. He's lost the ball. Needs to get himself up quickly. And Indonesia into the side netting. That could well have been number 2, Witan Sulaiman, as well, to his tally.
Wonderful pressing by Indonesia. Really good pressing. Look at that. Witan's already saying that's where the next pass is going to go. I'm going to close off this angle. It's going to go out to Zulfahmi Rahmat Irianto. Wonderful work from him. Just more aggressive, just hungrier in that situation. Zulfahmi has a look up. He doesn't see any options in front of him, so he thinks, I'm just going to try and hang on to this if I can. But Rahmat's just too aggressive there. And you got to understand the referees as well. Some referees would have given a free kick to Zulfahmi in that situation, saying there was a late challenge. But with this referee, he kind of tends to let things go a little bit.
I think that was a hope, wasn't it, from Zulfahmi when he went down there.
It's put Hassan in a lot of trouble there.
There's Tatsuma having a chat with Nur Adam in particular. Take us through this, Roshan.
I'm going to guess the red magnets are Singapore players, and he's trying to say trying to say to Nur Adam, perhaps touch line a bit. But let's have a look at the goal. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see from us now. He was taken out initially by Harris, and you're thinking in these situations, you know, the cynical side of it is say foul him, and he tried to foul him, but he didn't succeed because now he just had the drive to keep going, got back up on his feet, got forward. And still had the presence of mind and composure to nutmeg Shadan with that pass through into Witan. And then we've touched on the cutback and the quality of the finish.
One final chance perhaps for Singapore at the end of this first half. That would change the complexion of this game, of course. They can score here. Nazrul. Another foul. Should probably rack things up in this first half. Pratama, he's been in the wars, hasn't he?
A lot more of that tactically disciplined performance from Indonesia here defensively. Similar, I would say, to what we saw the second half against Malaysia and against the whole game against Vietnam, pretty much.
Heavy touch on from Zulfahmi. Kambuaya. We've had the 3 minutes. And the first half comes to a close here at the National Stadium with Indonesia in the lead against Singapore in the semi-final first leg. Thanks to this man here, Witan Sulaiman. But it's been a first half of few opportunities. The best one falling to Safwan Barudin.
Yeah, smart header from Safwan. And that's where Singapore have looked perhaps the most threatening from those set-piece situations. Remember, 2 legs, the semi-final, still a real long way to go of this one. In this one, Indonesia, as we see, getting together in that little huddle just before they go off into the locker room. But I think they've been the better side in the first half. I think they've been the better side. Singapore really need to improve on their pass percentages. They've only completed 62% of their passes in the first half, and that's not good enough quality to cause problems for the opposition.
So, half-time score then at the National Stadium in this AFF Suzuki Cup semi-final. It's Singapore 0, Indonesia 1. Second half going to get underway very shortly here at the National Stadium AFF Suzuki Cup 2020 semi-final between Indonesia and host Singapore. Indonesia a goal up thanks to Witan Sulaiman, and Indonesians are going to make at least 2 changes that we can see. Singapore making 1. It's like for like with Dedik Setiawan replaced by Ezra Walian, and Elkan Baggett is coming on, so changes at either ends of the field for Indonesia. And now Emanu Mantan is going to come on. It's for Zulfami Arifin. So presumably Russian, it would be 4 at the back for you for Singapore?
I think it looks like they could do that. Go with 4 at the back, put Anu in midfield, push Song a bit further forward. Another option will also be to drop Harris into that back line. That's something they could also decide to do. And it does look like they're going to stick with the 5 at the back as it stands. Anu and Shadan in central midfield. Harris in the center of that back 3. Safwan taking over Zulfami's position.
Elkan Baggett has come on for Rizky Ramadhani. He's the man who flew in from the UK, played 1 game, got quarantined for a bit after a COVID scare, and then came back in his return game to score against Malaysia. Ezra Walian of Dutch and Indonesian heritage, the striker. Emanu Mantan plies his trade in Malaysia. Let's see if these changes have any bearing early on. Irfan. And now Pratama Arhan. He's got Emanu Mantan right on him. Slips that into Irfan. And that is hit by the other Irfan. There's Baggett out to Pratama. Straight forward for Hassan Sani. So they've maintained their shape as well, Russia, with 3 at the back. Taeyong, of course, took Korea to the World Cup in 2018. They had a memorable result against Germany before he quit soon after. Here is that big throw coming in. We haven't seen it for a while from Pratama Arhan of Indonesia. Plenty of pace on it. Nice punch out from Hassan Sani. Here's Witan Sulaiman. Still with Witan. Asnawi. Oh, the right idea, wasn't it? To Irfan Jaya.
That was so good. So good. Irfan Jaya with the position that he took up there, a run that he made from outside in. Just have a look. I think he's kept himself, he's done really well to keep himself onside. Have a look at Nazrul here at the bottom of your screen. Keeps him onside, him and Faris. And then you've got Shadan in there as well.
Good challenge from Song, wasn't it? Lovely take here from Faris. Faris! Oh, in a great position. Took it on his weaker left foot. And that is their best opportunity of this half, Singapore.
Oh, wonderful work from Faris. This is really good from Singapore. The way they win the ball back here, Song with a challenge. And then Faris, have a look at this lovely bit of skill. And you're backing him, once he gets into that position, you're backing him to finish it off. Wonderful here. He just sends Fakrud in the wrong way. Trying to bend it.
Captain Evan Dimas for Rahmat Irianto. This is the change we saw in the last game against Malaysia.
Yeah, I think what Evan Dimas will bring with his introduction here is a bit more control for Indonesia and possession in midfield. I think they've lost control of the game a little bit.
There's Asnawi. Evan Dimas seems to be around forever, Russian.
Yeah, he's been playing football for a long time now. I'm just looking at the attempts, and it's 6 each to Singapore and Indonesia, and both with 5 shots from inside the box. Just the one for both of them coming from outside the box.
It looks like Amy Reka is also going to come on very shortly. Saw some movement on the bench there. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to take off Iksan Fandi. Or will they play two out-and-out strikers? They don't need to yet, Roshan, right? With the another whole bad.
Yeah, they've deserved that goal, and straight away he asked to be taken off. They've deserved that goal, Singapore. I think they've been the better side in the second half. They started to find a flow and a rhythm in the game. They started to string passes together. Let's have a look at this run. Yeah, he's onside. Well clear onside. And I wasn't sure if he was certain he was going to score there. This takes a bit of a deflection of Nadeo, and the angle was against him as well. But what was important here, Faris does such a great job of drawing the defender towards him, beating him, and then releasing that pass into the space that was left behind. But you remember the ball that came across, and it was headed first time by Zulkarnain. And there were cries of time. And normally when you hear that, you think, okay, I'll take it down and bring it forward. But what was crucial was that he headed it first time right into the feet of Faris, and then Singapore could turn around and counter-attack quickly.
His third goal in the tournament, Iksan Fandi's first two came in the opening game. And I tell you what, he scored. That was probably his last bit of action, regardless of what happened anyway. He asked to get taken off. That was the decision anyway by Tatsuma. He's done his part. And Singapore will be hoping he'll be absolutely fine for the second leg in just a few days' time. Shawalanwa racing down, he won't get there. Wanga is also pretty quick. Clumsy from Nazrul. He could have really been punished here. Oh, that's a penalty. That's it, the box, isn't it?
Oh, that should have been a penalty. Very fortunate, Singapore, that there's no...
They don't know what's happened. I'm not sure the rest of them do. Indonesia about to make another change here. Haris Putra is going to come on. Oh, he's done his job magnificently. Well, the man has only been on for about half an hour. He's off. There's Rawalian, who's taken off by Haris Putra. That is never something most players want to have, but he goes across to his coach, shakes his hand. Harris doing enough.
Sorry, I was supposed to claim that. I was going to say the way Asnawi runs up and down that right hand.
Oh, that's a great shot from Amy Reka. Relatively comfortable in there for Nadio.
It's increased the pace of their play as well in the second 45. Singapore, wonderful work here. Spins away, receives it. Off Hafiz No, testing the goalkeeper. It's a really good shot, difficult one as well to execute. But it's working now, doesn't necessarily mean.
There's Evan Dimas. Not very fun. Such pace about Irfan.
But I will say that they have looked a lot more organised since Harris has gone into the centre of that back line. Zulkarnain has done very well there, you know, to make sure that he was able to keep pace with Irfan. Track back, get on the inside, get goal side, come across. And shepherd it all the way to your goalkeeper.
Sultan picks himself up. Just as he picked up this Indonesian crowd here with his goal.
Yeah, I love the finish, love the finish. His composure in that position, just opens his body up, guides it past Hassan Sani. And then here Faris carries the ball forward, beats a man, and then plays it into that space that was vacated by the central defender who had pushed forward to try and stop the run of Faris Ramli. But just before that as well, the header from Zulkarnain I think was very important. First time header straight into Faris Ramli, and that meant the momentum of the move was kept alive.
And look at that. with the top scorers in the tournament. Iksan Fandi on to 3. Bhutan has now got 2. And Iksan, I should say, of course, and Indonesia. They spent a lot of time. Yabes Roni will have a cameo here in place of the hugely impressive Irfan Jaya.
3 goals, so
throw in by Pertama.
nothing
Goes
really,
up for a goal kick.
Nothing really changes. Nothing's really changed. Oh, it's given a corner.
Oh wow. Nazrul, very casual there. A contentious moment perhaps, right at the end of this match. If they go on and score, Alkan Baggett scored off a corner. He will be the one to watch out for. He's got a lot of players around, the referee has noticed that. There he is. Anu, Safwan and Irfan all around him. And that's away by Shawal Anwar, and that will be it. Well, what a second half I think we had. That game came to life. Iksan Fandi with the crucial equaliser for Singapore. Roshan, both coaches will have had some good moments here. It's a fair result.
Yeah, I mean, 1-1 in a match where away goals and things like that don't matter. It doesn't really change anything going into the second leg. It's great for us neutrals.
Absolutely.
It's all kept alive for the second leg. It was a strange match. It was a strange match. You know, I thought Singapore were a little bit flat in the opening 45. Indonesia were the better side. And then the second half, Singapore woke up with those changes that they made, with the structure to the team. They upped the intensity and the tempo of their game. Got their reward with that equaliser, whereas Indonesia then in the second half started to look a little bit wobbly in certain situations, looked a little bit.
There is still a long way to go. We are only at the halfway stage of this semi-final, and it's honours even. And they do it all again in just 3 days on the first night of Christmas. And let's see who will come bearing gifts. Full-time score here, and the first leg semi-final of this AFF Suzuki Cup 2020. It's Singapore 1, Indonesia 1.
The majority of fans in Singapore that have come out to these matches have been very supportive of the team. I think they had a small group of supporters perhaps booing them after that game against Thailand, and this was a good response from them, especially in the second half. And it creates a lot of enthusiasm for the second leg, and the same for the Indonesian fans. You know, they've been brilliant, and the players have gone over just to show their appreciation for the fans that have come out to support them, and I'm sure they'll be back to support their side in the big one, in the decider.
It was interesting, wasn't it? You mentioned how the game went a bit flat at times for one team or the other, just like the crowd as well. It reflects what's going on the pitch. But then there was a good period, about 10-15 minutes, and both sets were doing all they could. They got nice and stretched. There was a bit of end-to-end. They had their chances, but it was overall a game of few clear-cut opportunities.
That quality in these, whether they go back to the systems of 4 at the back, and they both go and try and attack each other.
Because, of course, it's a different dynamic then, but here is the man of the match, Witan Sulaiman Roshan, who scored the opening goal, but he did so much more, didn't he?
He's a wonderful player to watch, lovely player to watch. So graceful on the pitch, the way he just glides across, and intelligent in the way he takes up his positions, and the good knowledge of, good awareness of when he needs to hang on to it, when he needs to play it first time. And he never looks rushed, never looks hurried. You know, he's always composed in possession, and then of course adding that
from what they've done in the early matches. But from me, Shazad Haq and Rish Roshan Rai, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.